Thank you for the introduction. And so, my name is Rodrigo and I'm undocumented. I immigrated to the United States at 10 months of age from Portugal with my family. Since then, America has been my home. I grew up here in the state of Rhode Island, went to our public schools here, work here, study here at the University of Rhode Island, and yet each day I wonder how the next will be. Because I'm undocumented. I overstayed my visa as an infant, and because of that, I've been unable to do many of the things that many people take for granted. I can't leave the country, or otherwise I won't be allowed back in. When I was growing up, I was often worried whether I'd be able to drive, what I would do when I would grow up, where I would work, just because of a paper that I didn't have. And so that struggle continues. Even after President Obama signed the Deferred Action for Child Arrivals program, even since then, I've still had much uncertainty in my life. So the DACA program was signed by executive order in 2012, June 2012, and that allowed people like me who came here as children to have some kind of certainty, some kind of stability in their lives. They would apply to this program, they would pay a fee, pass a background check, and that would allow them ultimately to get a driver's license and get a work permit. With those two things, of course, you can do a lot more than without those, but that program is in jeopardy. When President Trump was running for office, he would often threaten that he would cancel the program. Of course, in September of 2017, Attorney General Jefferson Sessions made that announcement that they would terminate the program. And since then, Dreamers' lives, including mine, have been going from court case to court case. And next month, on November 12th, the Supreme Court of the United States will hear oral arguments pertaining to DACA, Deferred Action for Child Arrivals. And ultimately, depending on what the Supreme Court decides, I may lose the protections that I now have, putting me in danger of deportation, not having access to, of course, I wouldn't be able to get on a plane, since I will be able to get a driver's license thanks to the advocacy of so many Rhode Islanders here, thanks to Gabrielle Donzan, thanks to our state legislature. But my life will be limited once again because of what the administration has decided to do, to terminate this program and take the rug from underneath our feet. And so, growing up, I always tried to advocate for other people and for dreamers and undocumented immigrants. And I used my story as a way to have some power and control over the situation and to move people towards action. And thankfully, because of all the advocacy and sharing our stories, last year, Rhode Island successfully passed the first pro-immigrant law, which allows dreamers to keep their driver's licenses regardless of what happens to DACA. And I thank each and every single one of you who made calls, who showed up and testified, who worked behind the scenes to make that law a reality. Because regardless of what the Supreme Court decides, anywhere from January until June of next year, at least I will have a driver's license. At least I will have something that will keep me safe. So thank you so much for that. And so, with DACA in jeopardy, what can we do? Well, ultimately, we all must become immigration voters, and thank you so much, Gabby, for coining that term during one of our other panels. And I do strongly believe that, because ultimately, this comes down to making immigration reform a priority. It comes down to actually discussing these issues in the democratic debates, for instance. Immigration has to be brought up. If you're in one of those town halls, ask them what will they do to protect undocumented immigrants. Will they pass immigration reform in their first 100 days of their presidency? Those are the questions that need to be asked, and there needs to be much more urgency surrounding immigration policy. Because for so long, we've been promised that, oh, we'll pass immigration reform, but it's always put on the back burner. No more, because children are in cages. People are potentially going to get their DNA taken from them if they cross the border. And that is unacceptable. Enough is enough. It is long past overdue that we actually take action on immigration. Thank you.